Hey everyone, it's Tracy from Downward Dog Rising. Tonight I'm going to give you one or two exercises on the Pilates Reformer. They're my favorite, but they're difficult. And the reason why I'm going to give them to you is because they're crucial in your hip and pelvic alignment. And you can actually get an adjustment if you realign your hips and pelvis so they're straight. You do the work, you tighten your core to your spine. You can actually adjust your hips in the process of the exercise. So that's why I'm giving you this exercise. It's Pilates on the Reformer. We use our short box. And then we're going to do climb a tree, short box, and then we're going to do our stretches, our hamstring lengthening, our inner thigh stretch, and our iliotibial band stretch, our outer hip and thigh. So it's our three-way stretch with our back extension. So, very important, if you have lower back, lumbar spine stability issues like lumbar stability, herniated disc, spinal stenosis, degenerative disc disease, you're going to want to be careful because you need stability before any of these exercises and you don't want to load compress your back. So I would suggest to sit this one out. And then later, I'll give better things to help you with your pelvic girdle stabilization, lumbar spine stabilization. But the key to this motion, when you're sitting on your box, you can actually straighten out your two hip bones, tighten your core, peel back, roll through, and you can actually adjust your pelvis if it needs adjustment. So that's why I'm going to show this to you. And I don't have a lot of time, so I want to just go right into it on another day, another afternoon, evening. I will go more, but for now, usually we'd be warmed up. I'm just giving you the straight exercise, so you don't want to do this cold. You want to do this with a warm-up or exercise routine beforehand because you need to be warm to be able to move through your muscle groups. And then I'm a bad example because I'm cold right now, but I'm going to really focus on tightening my core in. And I'm not going to have my best possible variation to show you because I'm cold, but I'm still going to do it and just give it to you. So let's begin. I will start you sitting on your Reformer. And then I would say if you have your short box, it depends on your leg length. It depends on your body type. Let's just say as a cutoff, 5'6", 5'7", taller than 5'6". It depends on your leg length. Maybe you'll stick the short box on top of your shoulder rest, all right? And that gives you a little bit more space to peel back, to roll into the back of the pelvis. And then, we all have different torso lengths. We all have leg lengths that are different. So, you can't give a one script be all for everyone. But as an average, if a guy comes into my class, he's 6 foot tall, I immediately know I need to move the gear bar out, give him a little more space for his legs. So it's just common sense. So let's begin. And let me see if you could see me. I'm choking. I need a drink. Hold on. Oh, it's over there. I'm not going to take one. My box is directly... Okay, I'll show you. You're 5'2". You're 5'3". Your box is going to be right in front of your shoulder rest. And then we know you have adequate space so that you're not rolling your hip bones off the back of the box. And then maybe you're 5'6", 5'7", 5'8". It all depends on your leg length. Maybe you're 5'3" and you have long legs, so maybe you do need to come over here. It's all dependent. It's all relative. So you put this box over the shoulder rest, but not over these little aluminum straps. It's there, it's in place. Okay, next, what do you need to do? We're gonna put on maybe 3, maybe 4 springs. We don't want the carriage rocking and rolling around while you do the exercise. And then you always check, like there's this little strap, and then it has this little screw mechanism, righty-tighty. And then sometimes through use, it gets loose over time and time again. You're constantly pulling on it. So give it a good little whirl, turn it to the right, make sure it's all the way to the right so it's safe. That one actually wasn't all the way, so I'm glad I checked. Because you never want to put your feet under a strap and then lean back and then find out the strap releases. And a lot of times the strap can release, but it's not like undone, so it's still strong enough to hold you. But it could scare the heck out of you because you're leaning back and it gives this little release. It'll actually shift and you'll go back and it'll pull, and then you feel like you're gonna fly away from it, but it doesn't happen because it still has a little bit of give. So that's why you'll always check for safety. And then I'm gonna reach down here. I have so many things, and it's not that I'm disorganized, I just don't have space, and a lot of my stuff was ruined in a storage unit. I had the legs break off my reformers, I had springs rust from humidity when I thought I was in an air-conditioned unit, and I even had wheels melt. The rubber of my reformer wheels melted into pieces. So I'm just trying to bear with what I have in the moment, how much I can give towards it with all the other responsibilities I have in my life. So just bear with me. So you sit on top of your box, and then you stick your feet under your strap. You're either going to have a canvas strap. I have a fuzzy loop. I have old style, and it's like lamb's wool. It's really comfortable actually, but a lot of the studios today, you're not going to find the fuzzy loops anymore with the leather straps. You'll just see the rope with the canvas. Probably COVID had a lot to do with that. So we're going to take a bar if you have one. If you don't have a bar, maybe you'll take a Pilates ring, and then the ring is a little Pilates ring. You would hold your palms right over the handles right in front of you. And then I'm going to demonstrate 2 different things you can do. One is contraindicated for osteoporosis, for degenerative disc disease, as well as spinal stenosis. You wouldn't do spinal flexion. I'm going to show it to you right now. You hold the bar in front of you. You stretch the top of your head away from your tailbone. Notice how you're sitting right on top of your sits bones. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, roll behind your sits bones into the back of your pelvis. Okay, that's spinal flexion. And all the things I just mentioned, that's contraindicated. So basically, you would do a C curve, round back, spinal flexion if you have a healthy spine. If you're 20, 30 years old, you've never had a herniated disc, okay, this is something you're going to go right into. Stretch head away from tailbone. Gravity has its impact on our spines over the years. Scoop your core tight, lift back up. Let's do 3 more of these. This is C curve, round back. Elevate your heart, lift straight up through top of head. 2 more. Notice how you roll into the back of your pelvis, behind your sits bones, and then you rise up. Let's do 1 more. Roll behind your pelvis, rise up. Okay, and then I have to say, in many of my classes, Most of my students cannot do that because of where they're at in their life, their lifespan, and because of what's already happened in their spine. If there's compression of bones, there's a certain degree of what you can decompress and lengthen, and there's a certain degree of what's already been done and you can't change it. So let's say, for instance, it's already done, you can't change it, but we try to maximize the length in your spine as much as possible. So you're going to keep it safe. You're not going to like round your low back, compress it even more if you already have compression in there. So what you need to do, you would sit up nice and tall, head is away from your tailbone. Now, instead of peeling like this is peeling, it's rolling behind your sits bones. See what I just did? I'm not going to do that for this one. This one is safe for osteoporosis or compressive loads through low back. Look what happens. I just do this little hip hinge and then I lift back up. So I'm not going like that. I'm not loading the low part of the tailbone sacrum. I'm just doing this. I'm tightening my abdominal wall in. I'm peeling back and I'm just stretching through top of head. So I'm maintaining neutral spine. My hips hinge a little bit. They open in the front and then I elevate to the top of my head. 6, so I just do this little hip hinge. Scoop core deeply into your back. Elevate up. 5. If you want to make it harder, okay, you would go like that, tighten your core to your spine and lift back up. 4 more. Flat back, hip hinge, integrate ribs together in front, shoulder blades down the back. 4 more. Hip hinge back, scoop in, neutral spine, reach arms overhead and reach forward. 3 more. So by reaching arms overhead, that's a long lever. Ribs integrate together in front, lift back up, reach the top of head. 2 more. Inhale, exhale, come back up, stretch, elongate. Last one. Take it back, use your core, lift back up. All right. Now take your bar under your thighs, and then we're going to start with we're doing our short backs. Short backs, you're going to go knee lifts into your heart. Now you're on top of your sits bones. If your hamstrings are tight, no worries. Your main goal is to keep your spine lengthened and straight. So you would go like this. You would stretch your leg wherever you can stretch it to. 4 more. And 3, lift your heart. Keep your spine reaching long. 2 more. Exhale. Inhale. Last one. Exhale. Inhale. Okay, so you just did that one. Now, give your low back extra support. Avoid with osteoporosis, spinal stenosis, or degenerative disc disease. We only do things, you can continue with us as soon as we finish our back bend, because that's bottom loading your spine. So I'll come back to that in a second. If you have osteoporosis or any of the things I just mentioned, hang out for a second. We'll come back and bring you along in a moment. So if your spine is allowed, you don't have any contraindications, you would walk your hands up the back of your thigh. Now, as much as you can, sometimes our pelvis rotates or twists or becomes uneven. You're trying to keep these 2 hip bones in a straight line. This is wonderful because you can actually adjust your spine. Keep the length through the front of your hip and thigh. You walk your hands to the back of your thigh. You do a back bend, that's your extension, down into the well. You could even reach down to the side rails. You would take your hands under the hip, curl the chin under, and walk up to the front of your thigh. So then let's just do that 1 or 2 times. The hip bones stay stable and straight. You have to really scoop your core tight to your backbone. So you're going to peel back, really stretch the hip flexor of that right thigh. Walk your hands to the hamstrings, stretch and reach. Support your low lumbar spine. Inhale, drop your chin and walk back up. Exhale. Okay, let's try one more like that. Shoulders are straight over your hips. Keep the two hips aligned. Now you're gonna just peel back, reach it back, really scoop in tight. Your back is elongated, you're scooping in, you're not arching, and then you walk back up. Now, if you have osteoporosis or any of the conditions I mentioned before, you could join us again. You take the left ankle with the left arm, you grab the right side of your box. You're going to find a handle on the side of your box. Now, without rotating your hips or pelvis, you keep your chest lifted, and then you just reach your leg to the side, stretch your inner thigh. We'll do your three-way stretch. Then you grab your ankle with the right arm. You stretch to the other side of your box. You lift your heart to the sky. You get that iliotibial band stretch all the way down the side of your thigh. We'll just do 3. Feel your inner thigh, chest open to sky. Reach across, lift heart to sky. Reach into that side. Avoid it with a hip replacement at all costs because you don't want your hip replacement to pop out. We never go over midline with a hip replacement. 2 more. Your heart opens, lift through top of head, and then you reach across to the other side. Breathe in, breathe out. 1 more. You're going to inhale. Heart is open, collarbones wide, shoulders down and back, and then reach across. So this is a little bit of our short box climb a tree segment. Now you would take that ankle, you would cross it above or below the knee. If you had a knee replacement, maybe your range of motion isn't quite there to go above the knee. So avoid putting pressure, like you don't want to stick your ankle on top of your knee joint. That would hurt. That's not good. You'd either go under the knee or above the knee. Now you have 2 handles on each corner of the box. You would elevate your heart and you would sit as tall as you can, and then let gravity stretch this left hip and glute. So you elevate your heart to the sky, flex this foot, open up the hip energetically. Collarbones are wide. Now, just because most of life is forward flexion, we do round in Pilates and peel through each vertebra, but I want to avoid that in some circumstances because I don't want to add that forward flexion to your body. I want you to instead lift your heart through, your heart lifts up through the arms. Now I want you to feel the hinge down here in the front of your hips and pelvis, and then I want you to just do this little flat back stretch over your thighs, and then lift heart to sky again. This is going to be safe for osteoporosis. You flat back hinge. Feel that stretch in your hip and your glute, and then you rise back up. 3 more. 2 more. Breathe in, breathe out. And last one. If you're in your 20s or 30s, your back is not compressed, there's no circumstances. Okay, this is what a round back looks like. You would drop your chin down towards your breastbone, and you sequentially, so even though you lift straight up out of your center, you open your heart, you create length in your spine. So we never compress, but then you would draw the chin down, inhale, exhale. Now from the top of the head, you create as much length as you can to the tailbone. You roll and peel over the thighs. From the bottom of your spine, you stack up tall. Now that's round back. So I just wanted to show you the difference. Now take your other foot under the loop. Your loop, mine has a fuzzy, it's softer. Your loop is going to be a canvas strap. Sometimes one hip is tighter than the other. Sometimes it causes your pelvis to twist, to turn, or it causes your hip to hike. So it can cause an obliquity within the pelvis, it can cause a rotated pelvis. So then Your job is to sit straight. Your shoulders are straight over your hip bones. You elongate straight through top of head. This is my more difficult side, so I'm going to really emphasize your hips need to be straight. Your tight side is going to want to wiggle out of the stretch and go uneven. Immediately, your pelvis is going to want to go lopsided because it wants to evade the stretch. So what you need to do, your hips stay straight, you reach under the knee, you sit tall, and then just try 5 leg extensions without your hips wiggling out of the stretch. 4, reach through top of head. 3, and no worries if your leg doesn't stretch totally straight. 2 more. That's hamstring flexibility, and it comes with constant work over time, so no worries there. Now, you extend. See if you could lift the leg towards you. I might have even forgotten these leg extensions on the other side. Who knows? 3 more. Stretch top of head away from tailbone. 2 more. I think I went straight into climb a tree, so if you want to make it even, do this on your other leg. I just remembered that. And you just make sure the hips stay straight. Now, to give your low back, lumbar spine extra support, you walk your hands to the upper thigh. That way you're closer to your lumbar spine. Again, avoid with osteoporosis or any degenerative disc disease patterns in the low back, because here we have to go into spinal flexion. In order to roll through the back of the pelvis, you have to do spinal flexion, and then you reach into your spinal extension. You inhale, your core is deeply engaged into your spine, your chin nods forward, and then you walk back up. So you're on top of your sits bones, your hips are straight, scoop in again. You have to have a pretty healthy spine to go this deep, so I'm just giving that warning again, and we'll come back to where everyone can join us again for the 3-way hip stretch and neutral spine. So we're going to peel back, scoop in, your tailbone is long, shoulders are down and back, your chest is open. Maybe you grab the wood frame of the reformer, maybe you keep the hands under your thigh, you nod your chin, and you walk it back up. You sit tall, your shoulders are over your hips, and let's do one more. You breathe in, and then you exhale, peel back. Here's your spinal flexion, roll behind your sits bones into the back of your pelvis, your chest is open, your collarbones are wide, you take a deep inhale, flatten out that low back, across the sides of the box, you drop your chin, and then you walk back up. Now everyone can join, so your hip bones are straight, your pelvis is stable, and now you're sitting right on top of those 2 sits bones. Now you could take a hold of the side edge of your box. You're not rotating your pelvis, your hip bones are straight in front, and then you reach across your body, you grab your ankle with the opposite hand, you lift your heart to the sky, so you're still in that neutral spine. You're sitting tall, you're lifting and you're lengthening, and then you reach out to the other side. You inhale, chest is open, you're sitting up tall, inner thigh, adductor stretch, iliotibial band stretch, reach across, your heart is lifting, head away from tailbone. 3 more. And then you breathe in, you grab a hold of this side of the box, you try to stretch and sit tall, and then you reach across to the other side. 2 more, chest lifts up, head away from tailbone, collarbones are wide, we're not rotating our pelvis at all. And last one, you inhale, your chest is open, you exhale, you reach across, grab that leg, lift your heart, chest open, shoulder blades down, back. Now, if you've had a knee replacement, avoid putting direct pressure. You'd go below, you'd go above, you flex this foot, energetically open the hips, grab your side straps. Okay, now, you have osteoporosis or spinal pathologies, low back, so what do? You increase the length of your spine, You open your heart, you keep your breastbone long, and now you just do a little hip hinge over your thighs. Stretch out your low back, stretch out your hips, your glutes, and then you rise back up again. So you hip hinge, you keep the length in your spine, hinge over thighs, and then you rise back up, and it really feels good. 3 more. You stretch forward, you come back up, continue on, you stretch forward, you lift back up. Now say you're 20 years old and your spine is just ready to go every which way, has no limitations. What do? You sink down into your pelvis, you rise to the top of your head. That's your axial elongation, the oppositional energy lengthening of your spine in Pilates, so we never compress. So first you rise up, chest open, collarbones wide, shoulders out of ears, head away from tailbone. Then you start to drop your chin, you roll vertebra by vertebra with that elongation. I'm gonna still press to the top of my head without the collapsing. As I press up, I fold over vertebra by vertebra. I'm elongating my spine. My sits bones are still on the mat. And as long as I could keep that elongation, then my chin is rolled forward, curled down, and then I stretch up vertebra by vertebra. And that's how you maintain the length in your spine through spinal flexion. And then we just release leg from the strap. And then here's something you could do. You're either going to just inhale, open your heart. If you have mobility issues in shoulders, just go inhale, exhale, open your heart. No mobility issues in shoulders, maybe just open chest, and then hinge, and then stretch arms behind you, stretch front of shoulders. So your heart just lays over the thighs, but you're not rounding your back. You lift your heart to the sky. 2 more. Inhale. Chest is open. Then you exhale. You stretch over the front of your thighs. Exhale. 1 more. Collarbones wide. Exhale. Stretch over front of thighs. And then you gently come all the way up. And then maybe you crisscross your ankles. And then you lift your arms together. Palms together. Hands to your heart, Anjali Mudra. And let's just do 1 more like that. Inhale, open your heart. Exhale, bring palms together, Anjali Mudra. And then this concludes our exercise session for our short box climb the tree variations. I hope you enjoyed. It's like 12:30 a.m. right now, so I'm gonna call it a day. I'm not going to do any yoga session tonight or anything. Just wanted to share with you one of my favorite exercises, because when my hips and pelvis get off, if I really focus inward, I scoop the abdominals to my spine and I really work on the alignment, you actually give yourself a chiropractic adjustment. And it's so beautiful because you can adjust yourself. So know what you can do to help yourself to realign your body. It's very important. All right. Peace, everyone. Thanks for joining me. I hope this helped. If you like my content, please hit share and subscribe. I'd so much appreciate it. Appreciate you too. All right. You take care. I'll see you again soon. Bye. Take care. Peace. I'll see you soon.